When one compares the already huge number of dead, wounded, displaced, and deprived Muslims and other people for whose suffering you bear responsibility, with the relatively small number of Americans we have killed so far, it becomes crystal clear that we haven't even begun to even the score.
That was American-born al-Qaeda spokesman Adam Gadahn last year with a chilling message for President Obama and the American people. How could a boy raised in Southern California become a spokesman for a violent terrorist organization? And what are jihadist organizations doing to groom the next Adam Gadahn? My guest today wishes to remain anonymous. Welcome.
Thank you.
We just saw a clip of al-Qaeda spokesman Adam Gadahn. Can you give us some more high-profile examples of Americans that have been recruited to, as he put it, even the score?
Three of the most well-known al-Qaeda recruits include Anwar Al-Awlaki himself, who is the Yemeni-American clerk based in Yemen right now, who was raised in New Mexico. Abu Mansur al-Amriki, who is also known as Omar Hamami, who was raised in Daphne, Alabama. And Nidal Malik Hassan, who was the psychologist who carried out the Fort Hood shootings.
Scattered across the country, different kinds of people there. Can you give us a profile of the type of person who might be drawn in this way to violent strains of Islam?
Well, there are three major characteristics that typically are found in people who are radicalized. First, they see themselves as what's called in Arabic ruraba. Ruraba means strangers, so they see themselves as outside of normal Muslim communities, as people who don't quite fit in. That also typically applies to converts who are coming into Islam, which is largely an ethnic religion, and they don't typically fit into ethnic communities. In addition, these people become alienated because they feel like there's a war on Islam, and as a result of that, they're struggling for a reason or a way to escape from this war on Islam and to help other Muslims. And in addition to that, over time, they come to believe that the only way to solve the problem of the West attacking Muslims is through jihad itself.
Misfits, loners, making converts. What role does the internet play in radicalizing susceptible individuals like that?
The internet is the ultimate tool for jihadis because it gives them the ability to connect in networks and also gives them the ability to pass on information they wouldn't otherwise be able to communicate from members to members. So, for example, on several of the websites, there's a number of videos, publications, clips, things like that. Many of the al-Qaeda supporters who've been radicalized here in the United States have been radicalized through email, particularly through contact with Anwar Al-Awlaki. In addition, the internet is being used to produce graphically stunning videos and things like that as well.
Okay, let's get specific if we may. Can you tell us about some of the most influential of the jihadi websites out there and what kind of information it is that they're providing to visitors?
The three of the most influential jihadi websites that we've noted have been so far Shumukh al-Islam, which is the official al-Qaeda web forum that provides al-Qaeda members with access to publications, videos, audio from al-Qaeda and all of its affiliates, in addition to providing with the ability to communicate through a web forum format that's closed to all outsiders. In addition, there's an Al-Shabaab, that's the Somali terrorist organization, an Al-Shabaab affiliated web forum called alqimma.net, which is a major contributor and also has an English language section. And there's also Ansar al-Mujahideen, which is both an Arabic and an English language forum that's just general jihadi material but can provide access to any number of groups.
So no shortage of information out there, but would-be terrorists and even terrorists themselves perhaps have some decisions to make. Anwar Al-Awlaki, the Yemeni-American scholar, has urged forum members to focus on so-called homegrown attacks instead of traveling abroad to wage jihad. What would you say is the reasoning behind that particular strategy?
Well, what's unique about Anwar Al-Awlaki is not just that he's called for individual attacks, but that he's called Americans Satan, and therefore, as the fact that they're not people, they don't qualify for additional mercies that would normally apply to other people that would be attacked by al-Qaeda. So because of the fact that he's nullified their status as human beings, and the fact that he's called for attacks whenever and wherever without the permission of jihadi sheikhs, Anwar Al-Awlaki has kind of leveled the playing field by creating a lone wolf problem that's much bigger than Al-Qaeda ever imagined itself it could be.
So fully decentralized, a structure almost like the internet itself. Faced with an online foe who views us as something less than human, what do you think we ought to do, or what's the best defense to combat the influence of these kinds of websites?
So this is a relatively new question in comparison because we've been monitoring websites, but traditionally American intelligence has not carried out any sort of operations online because of concerns about losing our access to closed forums or struggling to maintain sources that we've traditionally had in the past. So as a result, we haven't traditionally done that. But some of the main tools that would be used to effectively deal with this problem would be asking countries that are hosting servers to shut them down, hacking into websites, which is becoming increasingly an idea. For example, with the first issue of Al-Qaeda's English language magazine, Inspire, British agents hacked in there and implanted a recipe for a cupcake. So there's a number of different ideas out there for stopping online jihadi activity, and it's a question that we're just now starting to deal with in the American intelligence community.
Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
For PJTV, I'm James Polis.